Welcome to this short somatic practice where we will connect to and release the tension in the front and the back body. We'll start our scan lying on the floor. And go ahead and come down to your mat, extending the legs along the floor if your low back will permit. And if not, then go ahead and keep your knees bent for the scan. Taking a moment to greet your body. And just noticing what's showing up for you today. What is your experience of yourself? And then let's go ahead and start moving. Bend the knees one at a time. Bring the feet flat on the floor. And on your next in-breath, we'll go ahead and arch the pelvis. Roll the pelvis towards the toes. You're arching the back. Pelvis is rolling or arching. Back is arching. Feel the contraction in the back body as it lifts away from the mat. Keep your focus on your back and then slowly release your back. Use your back to relax your back. Nice, and completely let it go. Take an in-breath to prepare. We'll move into the flatten. As you exhale, sink through your center. Draw your pubic bone and your collarbone towards one another using the front of your body. Breathing however you need to, making micro adjustments to gather the front of your body into that contracted state, and then go ahead and release. Slow, slow, slow. Let's try that again. On your next in-breath, arch your back. Roll your pelvis towards your toes. Pause here. Breathing however you need to. Notice your shoulders. Can you anchor them down towards the floor, allowing your collarbone to roll up towards your ears a little? So you've got this beautiful arch from top to bottom of the spine. Can you even out the weight between the upper body and the lower body? And then go ahead and slowly release that. Stay focused on your back. Keep your awareness on the back body as you sink down to middle ground. Take an in-breath to prepare. As you exhale, sink through your center. So your tailbone is curling, sorry, your pubic bone is curling up towards your breastbone. Ribs are sinking down. Shoulder blades rolling up and over the rib cage. Collarbone rolls into center. So the chest is contracting. The abdominal muscles are contracting. We are sinking into our center. Pause here. What can you release in the back body to facilitate the contraction of the front body? Do your little micro movements, little adjustments, and then go ahead and release. Slow, slow, slow. And completely relax. Let's add in or transition into the flower. So if your arms are not already alongside you, go ahead and place them there. So they're just about 4 to 6 inches away from your body. On your next in-breath, roll the pelvis towards the toes, arch the back, spiral the arms out so the shoulder blades anchor down towards the floor. You're opening up the chest, broaden the chest, maybe even let the knees open slightly so the whole front of the body is expanding. Connect to the back body, feel the contraction there, and then go ahead and slowly let that go. So the back releases and the arms will roll back into middle ground. Take an in-breath in middle ground. As you exhale, can you sink through your center, spiraling the arms in towards you so that the backs of the hands hug into the hips. Connect to the chest and the ribs in the front. Let the arms help you find that contraction. Can you broaden the back? The rib cage broadens, the shoulder blades sweep away from one another. Slowly release the front of the body. And relax. Taking that again. Let's inhale, roll the pelvis, arch the back, spiral the arms out. Let the head go along for the ride. So the chin is gently nodding down towards the chest. What can you let go of in the front of the body? Slowly let that go. Slow. Keep your mind's eye on your back. Use your back to release your back. Take an in-breath here. As you exhale, go the other way. Sink through the center of your body. Spiral those arms in. Front of the ribs and chest contract. Abdominals are contracting. Everything in the front of the body is working to sink down through the middle. It's almost like, I like to think of it like I'm going to get sucked into a hole right under the back of my ribs. I'm just going to kind of fold myself into that hole, curling in. Notice what's happening in the head. The chin is sweeping up, the eyes or the gaze is sweeping back behind you. Go ahead and let that go. Release the front body. And completely relax. Go ahead and extend the legs one at a time. Noticing how those few moves have translated or affected your body. And from here, we'll bend the knees and flip over onto your tummy. And we'll set ourselves up right down the center to begin. So your forehead can face the floor. You can make a little pillow for your forehead with your hands. And just take a moment here, connecting now that we've flipped over. Noticing your pelvis, your chest. And then go ahead on your next in-breath, yawn into the front of your pelvis as you lift your head. So you want to imagine that there's something very interesting on the floor just in front of you, slightly in front of you. And you're lifting your head up to look at that thing that's interesting. We're using your whole spine. And go ahead and slowly, slowly release. Lowering down, release your back. And relax. I'm going to add some imagery here. Imagine that I'm placing my hand very lovingly on your spine and between your shoulder blades. On your next in-breath, go ahead and take a peek at that interesting thing in front of you. So you're lifting your head. But you're doing so from your spine. So I'm gently pressing my hand down towards the floor and slightly up towards your head. So kind of a little scooping action with your spine. And that's going to help you lift your head, right? So to move your head is to move your spine. Use your whole back here. So from tip to tail is engaged in this process. We're contracting through the back. Now go ahead and slowly release that contraction. Release the back to lower the head back down to the floor. Right. Go ahead and turn your head to the right. So your left arm runs alongside the body on the floor. Your right arm is set up with your palm at the level of your face. And your upper arm is about 90 degrees out from your trunk. So again, your right hand is on the floor near your right face. Your head is turned to the right. And your upper arm is perpendicular to your body. So we're going to come into that same idea of lifting our head, but we're turned. So keeping your hand and your forearm on the floor on your next in-breath, go ahead and arch your back to lift your head and look over your right shoulder. Feel the muscles in the back body contracting. And slowly release, lowering down, controlling the release of the back muscles. Doing that again. Go ahead and breathe into the front of the chest this time. So as you yawn into the front of that right armpit, let that be what helps you kind of float up. So you're arching your back, you're floating through the front, and you're taking a peek over your right shoulder. Pause up here. Notice what's happening in the left low back. There's a contraction in the left low back as we lift and look over our right head. See if you can connect to that. And then go ahead and lower the head back down. Right. So let's jump down to that left leg. On your next in-breath, with a straight leg, can you lift the leg off the floor? So we're not locking the knee, just lifting the leg. Notice the contraction in the left lower back. And slowly lower down. Right. And now let's put those two together. Full back lift. On your next inhale, breathe into the front of that left hip. Breathe into the front of that right shoulder. Let that be what floats you up as you lift your left leg and look over your right shoulder. Describing to yourself one arm of an X, a cross body pattern across the back of the right upper body, left lower body connected. Feel that. Stay with that line as you release back down to the floor. Keep that line in your mind's eye as you lengthen down towards the mat. Go ahead and take that one more time on your own. So you know what to do. Using your breath, using your lift. Mhm. Nice. Completely relaxing when you're done. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. So turning your head to the left, and you're coming up with the same setup. So that left arm runs alongside you. Pardon me, the right arm runs alongside you. The left arm is bent so that the palm is kind of at face level and your upper arm is parallel, perpendicular to your body. Good. And when you're all set up here, we'll go ahead and repeat on this side. So as you take your next inhale, think of scooping through the spine to take a look over your left shoulder. Use your back muscles. So be mindful not to press into the floor with your hands and with your chest. Okay, that's using the front body. We want to use the back. So contract the back muscles to lift and look over the shoulder, and then go ahead and let that go. Release the back. Good. Taking that again. Breathe into the front of that left armpit and that left collarbone. Let them really widen and expand with your breath. And let that be what's part of floating you up. So you lengthen in the front of the chest as you contract the back. When you're up here, notice what's happening in your right low back. And slowly lower down. Good. Coming down now to that right leg. Right, so we're describing in our mind's eye the other arm of the X, if you will. Take an in-breath, yawn into the front of that right hip as you float the right leg off the floor. Notice the muscles being used to lift the leg. Now slowly release those muscles, letting the leg float back down towards the ground. Nice. Let's put that all together. Take an in-breath. As you do that, lift the leg, lift the upper body. So the right leg lifts, the left upper body lifts. Feel that connection across the back body. So it's like the booty on the right side and the shoulder on the left side, they're being drawn in towards one another. Feel that connection and then release that connection. Slow and controlled. And let it go. Taking that one last time. On your in-breath, yawn into the front of that X. Contract through the back of the X. Looking over the left shoulder. Raising that right leg. Feeling those back muscles shorten and contract. And then slowly, slowly releasing the contraction in the back body. Let everything sink back to the floor. And then let it all go. Release all the tension in the body. From here, let's roll onto our backs with our knees bent. Setting up for arch and curl as our final exercise for this little somatic exploration. Place the hands behind your head, elbows out to the side. Let's take a generous in-breath to prepare. As we exhale, sink through your center. Breastbone plunges down. Elbows squeeze up towards the ceiling. Pause here. Keep your head on the floor to begin. First round, head on the floor. Squeeze the chest. Slowly for a count of 6, open your elbows out to the floor. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good, let's add on. Take an in-breath. As you exhale, sink through your center, float the elbows up towards the ceiling. Connect to the shoulder blades, broadening on the back of the body. Now tuck the chin into the chest. We're going to keep this very small. So the chin tucks into the chest and we're just working through the upper spine. So we're not curling very far. We're connecting to the back of the neck and the upper spine, connecting to the shoulder blades. Reach those elbows away from each other. Squeeze the chest. Let it draw into the center line. And then slowly returning that little bit of the lift in the head as the elbows float out to the side for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and completely let it go. Adding on. Take a generous in-breath to prepare. Exhale to sink your center down. Elbows float up. Tuck the chin into the chest. And then let's continue our curl. So as we explore the spine, we're moving segment by segment, increasing the contraction in the front body. So the more we lengthen the back, the higher up we can go. Really connect and squeeze to what's happening in the front of the body. Pausing up here, is there anything that you can let go of in the back body to get a little more contraction in the front? And then when you're ready, slowly letting that go, releasing down, letting the elbows float out to the side. And completely relax. Taking that full curl one more time. Now let's add in the arch. So on your next inhale, go ahead and arch the back. Here you can press the shoulders, the elbows down into the floor. Press the back of the head gently into your palms. So you're feeling a little bit more contraction in the upper back and through the shoulder girdle. And then go ahead and let that go. And as you let that go, you can go right through into the sinking. So as you release the back, start to float the elbows up towards the ceiling, plunge the center down. Starting to curl up section by section. Keep this small and slow. It doesn't have to be small, but each part is small. So we're slowly curling up. Section by section, can you release the back, contract the front? Shoulder blades broaden, broaden, broaden. And when you've had enough, slowly start to release it down. The elbows and open up as you release the chest, slow. Release the chest, slow, 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 slow. And relax. Nice. Good. Take the hands out from behind the head and let's extend the legs along the floor. And as we finish up this short practice, just notice what sensations are happening in the body now. Is it different than when you first checked in? And if so, What has changed? So that concludes this somatic practice. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to work with you on the mat again soon. Bye for now.